Hello and welcome to today's Yin Yoga class. We're focusing on the wood element today, which is one of the 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine. And since Yin Yoga is based on traditional Chinese medicine, these elements are very present in our practice as well. The other elements are fire, earth, metal, water, and then wood. So the wood element is at its peak most active in, the energy is most active in spring when everything starts growing again after winter, which is the most yin season of all. And then this dormant energy starts pushing up and out. This is a yang energy, up and out, growing, expanding, going out. So this is a rising yang energy and a diminishing yin energy. And you can see this in nature in spring when everything just booms, grows, blossoms. And this is an energy that we can also feel inside. It's a time of year where we can have all kinds of ideas and dreams and inspiration popping up, and the desire to go and do things, making plans, decisions, growth, development, and the emotion that is related to this is, when in balance, flexibility to adapt to newer circumstances, to adjust, compassion, patience. And when this energy is out of balance, you can feel rigidity, anger, and this is, you can compare it with wood, no? Like when wood is alive and flowing while it's flexible, it just waves in the wind. And when wood is rigid, it can break. So this is the energy inside that we will be cultivating today. This flexibility, compassion, patience are dreams and ideas that we will be fostering and encouraging. The related meridians are the liver and gallbladder meridian, and they run through the legs. So the liver meridian runs through the inside of the leg and then goes towards the side of the abdomen, and then the gallbladder meridian runs on the outside of the leg, also goes through the side of the abdomen, and then crosses all the way upward, the back of the shoulder, the side of the neck, into the face. So today we will be doing lots of work with the legs, especially adduction. Abduction, we'll be twisting a bit, moving the abdomen. Make sure that you have a bolster or a rolled up beach towel also does the job, or a thick pillow. A block might come in handy. And then we'll start as usual with a pranayama, or breathing exercise. So take a moment to arrive in the moment. Breathe in and out. And observe how you're sitting here right now. Feel the pressure of your sitting bones onto the pillow, onto the mat. Observe your breath without wanting to change anything, just noticing. Is your breath deep, shallow? Is it like the calm sea on a summer night? Or like a wild river? Do you feel your breath mostly in the belly, the ribs, the chest? Is it fast-paced, slow? Can you allow it to be just the way it is? And then let's start with the Hamsa breath. On an in-breath, internally repeat hum. You can say it once or several times as long as your in-breath takes. And on the out-breath, repeat internally sa. Sa, the length of your out-breath, or several times, what you prefer. In, hum, out, sa. And do this a few times in your own rhythm. And observe if you notice any shifts in your state of mind, in your breathing. And then after the next exhalation, we're going to reverse the mantra. So on an in-breath, we're going to repeat internally so. And on an out-breath, hum. In, so. Out, hum. And repeat this again a few times in your own rhythm. And after the next exhalation, let go of the effort. Observe what the effect of this version of the pranayama is. And then to go on, choose the one that seems to calm you most. For some it's one, for others it's the other. So if you're not sure, just choose one of both and then you can practice again after if you want to find out which one works more calming for you. So either so, hum, or hum, sa. And then we'll do this for about 5 minutes. I will keep track of time and I will tell you when it's time to finish. After the next exhalation, you can let go of the effort, go back to natural breathing, and observe. What do you notice after this pranayama? Is anything shifting? How is your breath now? Maybe you feel more present, or maybe not much has happened, and that's fine too. And slowly bringing the palms of the hands together in front of the heart in prayer pose, keeping the eyes closed, feeling the pressure of the thumbs against the sternum, connecting to our heart space. And what is it that your heart is telling you at this moment? Is there any intention you would like to set for today? And once your intention is set, bow your head towards the hands, anchoring your intention. And whenever you feel ready, slowly open your eyes, and then we'll make our way to the asana part of the practice. You want to keep a bolster or a pillow close by for this one. We're first going to come onto hands and knees into tabletop position, and we're going to a toe squat. So I'll slide up my pants a little so you can see. So we're going to tuck the toes under, and if the pinky toe doesn't want to join, then you can help it along a little bit. And what we're doing here is stretching the soles of the feet and the bottom of the toes. What you don't want to feel is a sharp stinging sensation on the upper side of the toes or on the ankles. So the starting point is on hands and knees, and then if you want to intensify, you can bring your weight back towards the heels. And then see what this feels like, knowing that we will be in the pose for 5 minutes. And then if you feel you have more space, you can come up, putting your weight onto the heels. And then breathe deeply. In case you feel any sharp stinging sensations, first of all, bring the weight back forward, so you're on hands and knees. If you still feel a sharp stinging sensation, or if the sensation is too strong for you, you can also do this pose seated and pulling the toes towards you. This is a lot gentler. In this case, I will say after 2.5 minutes to change. We will be in the pose for 5. The reason we're doing this pose is because the liver meridian starts and the gallbladder meridian ends in the toes. So they run through the toes, through the feet. By doing this pose, we stimulate the meridian. So what we do is stimulating the free flow of energy inside of this meridian so that we balance out the energy related to the wood element. Bring your focus to your breathing, taking deep, nourishing breaths, and imagining that on the in-breath, you're sending your breath all the way to the tips of your toes. And on the out-breath, you take away what you no longer need there. Let it go. Breathe it out. Breathing in and out to the top of your lungs. And if the sensations are strong, let your breath be your guide. With every breath, you sink in a little deeper, allowing whatever sensation you feel to be there. And with every out breath, release and relax a little more, knowing that often this is a pose that mainly feels good when you've come out. And keep breathing deeply. And scan your body to see if there's anywhere you unconsciously hold up tension. Can you relax your hips a little bit more? Can you relax your belly a bit more? What about the back? Can you relax your legs? Taking 3 more deep, nourishing in and exhalations. Filling your lungs completely with fresh oxygen. And letting go on the out breath. And after the next exhalation, to come out of the pose, slowly untuck the feet. It might be difficult to move, that's normal. It's because of the fascia that we've been stimulating and mobilizing deeply. And you will probably want to move your feet or your toes, but try not to and see what happens. And feel how the flow of energy in your feet and your toes rushes. Maybe you feel warmth, tingling. And feel how this sensation spreads to the legs, to the hips. Realizing that everything is connected in and outside of the body. Breathe deeply, keep your attention focused. And after every pose in Yin Yoga, I like to do a rebound to give our body the opportunity to take a rest, to integrate, and for us also to connect to our body and to the bodily sensations that we have after the pose. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your weight back onto the heels. We're going to turn 90 degrees for our next pose. We're going to go to frog. And if you have the feeling that your knees are sensitive on the floor, you can put a blanket, a rolled up blanket underneath. We're gonna go first to a wide-legged child's pose, bringing your knees apart as far as is comfortable without pushing. And then bring the weight forward. And then what we want to feel here is a stretch on the inner thighs, stimulating the liver meridian. And for some people, it's here that they feel this stretch, depending on where you hold up tension and what your anatomy of the hips is like. If you don't feel that much yet, or you want to feel more, then you can start bringing your weight forward. So I will turn so you are more visible. So you want to bring your weight forward. And then your lower legs are free, and then you can bring the lower legs in more or less a 90-degree angle. And then see what this feels like. You can stay here. You can come onto the elbows, onto the floor, or you can lie onto a bolster. If you lie onto a bolster, it's probably more of a more restorative pose where you can really lie and rest your weight onto the bolster. If you feel like you want to keep yourself up, that's fine too. And when you do so, check in with your shoulders, that you don't tense up the shoulders. If you do, then it's worth trying to move the position of your hands. So you can bring your hands facing up. Sometimes it changes the sensation in the shoulders. You can catch opposite elbows. You can bring your elbows a little bit out. You can clasp your hands. Whatever it is that helps you relax the shoulders. And then again, we're going to be here for 5 minutes. No sharp stinging sensations anywhere. If you do feel sharp stinging sensations, I suggest to move your weight back and forth and see if you can eliminate the sensation. It can also help to come lower or higher, or bring the knees a little bit more in. It can also help. And wherever you are, breathe deeply. And can you surrender to the pose? Relaxing the hips, not trying to hold yourself up. It's okay to sink in, it's okay to feel. And breathe deeply, welcoming whatever sensation that shows itself. And today we're stimulating this energy of coming alive after winter, this strong, potent energy that is capable of breaking through the shell of a seed and pushing through the soil. Do you feel this energy inside of you, this desire to grow, to expand, to develop, to dream, to do? And while doing so, staying flexible, adaptable, patient for what comes and what doesn't come yet. And keep breathing deeply. Taking 3 more deep in and exhalations. Breathing into the top of your lungs and a little bit more. And then breathing out fully until the navel goes towards the spine. And in again. And out. Once more in. And out. And to come out of the pose, in case you're lying down, you can push yourself up, and then it might be difficult to move, so take it easy, move slowly. You can bring your weight forward a little bit and then wiggle your knees back to the middle. And then for the rebound, this time we'll go and lie on the back, stretching the legs out, the arms alongside the body, and observe the effect of the pose. If you want, you can sigh, you can make sounds on the out breath. Whatever helps you release. And bring your attention to the hips, to the inner thighs, and observe the sensations that you feel there. How would you describe them? What has changed? And how does this spread to the rest of your body, and how does it affect your state of mind, your emotions? Without going too much into analyzing, just noticing, feeling. No need to act upon it. Giving your body space, connecting to your body. And whenever the sensations have faded, we'll go to the next pose. If you need a bit more time, take it. You can pause the video. And then for our next pose, we'll be staying lying down. And we're going to go to Bananasana, which is basically forming a banana shape or half moon shape with the body. So you're bringing the left leg towards the left edge of the mat. And then you want to slide your right foot over the left foot so that you kind of form a curving shape. Then the hips stay on the ground, they don't move. And then it's your upper body that scooches a little bit towards the left so that you continue forming this half moon shape. Your right arm comes overhead, and with the left hand you clasp, you catch the opposite wrist. And then you will most probably feel a stretch on the right side of the body. Depending on your range of motion, you will feel this in the outer part of the legs, the outer part of the hip. You can also feel this along the outside of the side of the ribs, the armpit, the arm. So this is the starting pose. As always, I give some adaptations. Feel free to play around. The wood energy is also a very playful energy, so see if you can approach your practice in a bit of a playful way today, like exploring, playing. See what happens when you make slight changes. So one of the changes you can make is putting the feet next to each other, and this might change the stretch. And then you can also put the left foot over the right foot. These are slight changes, but sometimes slight changes make a big difference in stretch. Also, if you want to feel more, you can bring your legs a little bit more to the side. You can bring your upper body a little bit more to the side. If you feel like a contracted or painful sensation in the back of the hips, in the sacrum, then you can put the left foot on the floor, lift your hips, and just put them back so they slightly change position, and this usually takes away this sensation. And then breathe. In case you feel a pinching sensation on the front of the right shoulder, you can either take a block or a pillow and put your arm or your shoulder on top of it, or you can also put your arm on your forehead. It slightly alters the stretch, but you don't want to have this pinching sensation in the shoulder because it's just more difficult to relax into the pose. And also if it's painful, it's probably like compressing tissue, which is not so good. And then breathe. Allow the earth to really carry you. There's no need to hold yourself up. You're lying down, so you can just let go. And then breathe into the side body and feel how your ribs expand on every inhalation and how they come together on every exhalation. Slowly creating more space. And through the breath, gently massaging our body, inviting it to open up, release. Keep your attention focused. If your mind wanders off, just bring it back to your breath, to the sensations you're feeling, without judgment, without acting upon it. It's alright, we all get distracted sometimes. Three more deep in and exhalations, breathing all the way to the side of the ribs. And after the third exhalation, to come out of the pose, release the wrists, wiggle yourself back to the middle, slide your arms next to the body, and wrap the legs until you think you're in the middle, and then look at your feet and adjust. This is a pose that is a bit disorienting, and then often when we think we're in the middle, we're actually not. So once you're in the middle, relax and observe the effect of the pose. And notice the difference between the right side of the body and the left side of the body. And once the sensations have largely faded, we'll go to the other side. So then it's the right leg that goes towards the outside of the mat, then the left foot on top over the right foot. Hips stay where they are, and then the upper body scooches towards the right side, taking away any props that are in the way. And then with the right hand, you catch the left wrist. And then you can slightly pull without applying too much effort. So until you feel a doable stretch on the left side of the body. Doable meaning that you can still breathe well, unobstructedly, and that you can still relax. If this is not the case, you can come out a little bit more, sliding the legs a little bit more towards the left, and sliding the body also a little bit more, the upper body a little bit more towards the left. So again, this is our starting pose. And don't assume you need the same thing on this side than on the other side, because anatomically we're quite different on the left and the right side, so you might need another variation on this side. So let's see what happens when you bring your feet next to each other, and then bring the right foot on top of the left foot and see how that changes the stretch. And then choose a variation that suits you best today. That might be different from yesterday, might be different from tomorrow. Same with the arms. You can bend the left arm and see what happens. You can put your arm on top of the forehead, or you can bring something underneath the shoulder, especially when you have a pinching sensation in the shoulder. And once you've found your variation of the pose, stay there and breathe. And invite stillness inside. Can you surrender completely to the pose? Allowing whatever comes up to be there, as long as it's not sharp and stinging. If you feel discomfort in the back of the hips and the sacrum, then put the right foot on the floor, lift the hips for a minute, and then just bring them back on the floor so the position of the hips changes slightly. Breathe deeply to the left side of the ribs, observing how the ribs move on every in and exhalation, creating space and releasing. Taking a few more deep in and exhalations. Replenishing, giving more oxygen to our body on the inhalation. And shedding whatever we don't need anymore on the exhalation. In, replenishing, releasing. One more in. And sigh it out on the exhalation. And slowly come back to center, sliding your arms along the side of the body, bringing your legs to the middle. And then once you think you're in the middle, look at your feet and then adjust so you're really straight. And observe the effect of the pose once more. Breathing deeply. Giving your body time and space to do the work. Your fascia at this moment is rehydrating, realigning, making new connections, allowing for a better communication between the cells, better transportation of nutrients, and better elimination of toxins. And also eliminating obstructions so that the energy can flow freely. And through practice, you learn to observe this movement, this realigning, this rehydrating, and the flow of energy. The more you practice, the more you learn to feel this flow of energy. And whenever you feel ready, bend the knees, put the feet on the floor, roll to one side, and try to move mindfully and with as little effort as possible. And slowly push yourself up to seated. Your neck comes up last, not to strain it. And for our next pose, we're going to go to shoelace. So bring the feet in front of you on the floor, and then the left foot slides between the right foot and the hip, and then you bring it towards the outside of the right thigh. It doesn't matter how close it comes. Don't push yourself into it. And then once you found your personal edge, you take the left leg and you do the same thing on the right leg rather, and you do the same thing on the other side. It's important to be mindful of the knees. Absolutely no sharp stinging sensation in the knees. If this is the case, you want to back out a little bit, either bringing the legs a little bit more towards the side. And what usually also helps is come to sit onto something so that there is less pressure on the knees. Because if you don't have the range of motion in your hips to rotate, the knees will try to compensate and the knees cannot move sidewards. So that's a risk of injury. So be mindful. What we want to feel here is a sensation on the outside of mainly the right thigh. The right thigh, you can also feel this in the right buttock. Possibly you also feel this on the left side. So again, this is our starting pose. If you don't feel all that much, you can bring your foot a little bit closer towards the left buttock. Stay mindful of the knee. You can also fold forward. For me, this is not accessible, but for some people, this really helps feel a stretch in the thigh. You can also lean to one side, lean to the other side, and then see which variation suits you best today. And breathe deeply. Again, we're going to be here for 5 minutes. So, and in this pose, we're stimulating the gallbladder meridian that runs on the outside of the leg and goes towards the glute also. And if you want, you can let your head hang so you don't have to keep your head upright. And taking a deep inhalation. And on the exhalation, release your hips a little bit more. Feel how they sink more to the floor, how the pressure slightly increases. The pressure of the hips on the floor. And once more, breathing in and releasing on the out breath. Keeping your attention focused. Breathe deeply. We're almost there. Three more deep in and exhalation. And releasing that little bit more on the exhalation. And after the third exhalation to come out of the pose, help your right leg to come out. So you catch your knee and your foot, and you do the effort with your hands so that your leg doesn't have to work. And then once again, we're gonna come to Shavasana to feel the rebound. Once more, observing the effect of the pose. Bringing your attention to the right leg, the right side of the hip, and observe how this is different from the left side. Breathe deeply. allowing the earth to carry you. No need to do anything right now. And whenever the sensations have largely faded, bring the feet on the ground, bending the knees, roll onto one side, push yourself up, head coming up last, and then we'll make our way to the other side. So we'll start again with the feet on the floor, and then it's the right leg that slides toward the outside of the left hip, and then the left leg comes on top, sliding towards the right side. Again, being very mindful of the knees, no sharp stinging sensations. If that's the case, you can slide your legs a little bit more open, and then you go more towards a square pose, which is fine too. This is the same target area, so this is also targeting the outside of the thighs and the glutes. So if this works better for you than shoelace, go for it. There's no need to push your body to places where it doesn't want to go. Also, if you feel stinging sensation in the knees, you can come and sit onto something. Again, it doesn't matter whether your knees are aligned on top of each other. What matters is what you feel. What you want to feel is a sensation on the outside of the left thigh and in the left glute. Possibly also in the right side, depending on tension you might have, depending on your anatomy. And from here you can either bend forward, bring your arms to one side to add a bit of a twist, to the other side, and then choose the variation that suits you best today. And once you chose your variation, invite stillness. And try to stay still, although sometimes it's temptation to fidget, to move around, or to distract yourself with thoughts. Try to stay present, and your breath helps you to do so. So breathe deeply. Feel your sitting bones pressing into the floor. And if the left sitting bone comes off the floor, that's fine. There's no need to press it into the floor. Maybe after a few minutes it comes down a little bit. Maybe it doesn't. Turn inwards and listen what your body is saying to you today. What is the stretch that you feel telling you? Can you cultivate an open attitude towards whatever comes up, whatever comes your path, on and off the mat? Cultivating compassion in the first place with yourself and with others. Cultivating patience. And connect to this expansive energy of growth, development, the wish to blossom, the desire to expand, to do, this joy of life, sprouting, blossoming, growing. Three more deep breaths. And after the third exhalation, come out of the pose, helping your left leg out by supporting the knee and the foot. Doing the effort with the arms, not with the leg. And then slowly again coming to lie down on the back for the rebound. Sighing it out. And once more in. And sigh it out. Bring your attention to the hips, to the knees, to the legs, the feet, the lower part of the body. Observe the release there. Observe the flow of energy that is liberated, stimulated. The joy of life. The joy of energy rushing through our body. Keep breathing. Stay focused. Don't disappear. And whenever you feel ready, bend the knees, put the feet on the floor. Again, roll to one side, pushing yourself up to seated. And let's bring the soles of the feet together in front of the hips. We're going to go to a lateral half butterfly, meaning that we stretch out the right leg towards the right side. The leg goes towards the right until you feel a stretch on the inner thigh. And then the left foot can stay where it is, or you can bring it a little bit closer into the body. From here, we're going to slide towards the right, and then bring the arm overhead. Again, it really doesn't matter whether you're able to touch your toes with your hands. That's not the point. The point is what you're feeling. So we're doing different things here. So on one hand, you want to feel a stretch on the inner thigh. You might also feel this either on the inside or the outside of the left thigh. And because we're doing the side stretch, you feel a stretch on the left side of the torso and the arm as well. Possibly you will only feel part of it. You cannot always have to check both. So this is our starting pose. You want to rest your head, and to do so you can, if you reach, you can support your head with your hand. Your arm can just rest onto the head, so you don't have to do any effort. If this is not accessible for you, you can also bring your left hand on the floor. They take out a little bit of the stretch, but it's most important that you're able to relax into a pose. If you feel that you can go deeper, you can also put your elbow onto the floor, or you can take away the elbow and see where you get. If you feel a pulling sensation on the knee, on the back of the knee, you can put a block or a blanket underneath the knee, because you want to feel this in the belly of the muscle, not only on the edges. And then breathe deeply. And try to relax as much as possible in this pose. I know for a yin pose I find this quite a lot of effort, but it's worth it. I find most important to relax the head so you don't strain the neck. Breathing deeply. And feel how slowly the body is opening up. You create space for something new, releasing the old, releasing whatever it is that you don't need anymore. If you feel a sharp stinging sensation or pinching sensation in the front of the shoulder, again, you can either bring your arm in front of the forehead or you can bring it down onto the floor. You can also bring it towards the back, resting the hand on the lower back, or you can try to catch your opposite thigh without forcing yourself. And keep breathing deeply. Three more deep in and exhalations. And after the third exhalation, bring the left hand onto the floor, the right hand onto the floor, and push yourself back to the middle. Take away any props you might have used, and then again, come lie on the back for the rebound. Giving the body some space and some time to integrate. Connecting to our body. Breathe deeply. Acknowledging the sensations that you're feeling without acting upon them. Just noticing. And bend the knees, the feet on the floor. Again, roll to one side, pushing yourself back to seated. Then we'll go to the other side. Again, starting from butterfly positions, soles of the feet together, knees wide. And then slide the left leg towards the left side until you feel a stretch on the inner thigh. The right foot can stay where it is, or you can bring it in closer. And then we're adding the side stretch, bending to over the right leg. The important thing is that you don't show your chest towards to your knee. It's rather the side of the ribs that you show. So you really slide towards the side, bringing the arm overhead, resting the head. Don't keep it up. And you can relax the arm onto the head. You can support your head with your hand. And then from here again, we can start playing. So you can bring your arm onto the floor and see how that changes the stretch. Bend the arm, stretch the arm. But doing this for 5 minutes might be a bit too much. So don't strain yourself. The important thing is that you're able to relax. So you want to feel a stretch on the side of the torso, maybe also in the outer part of the arm. And today we're mainly focusing on the torso because that is where the gallbladder and the liver meridian run. And then breathe deeply. If you feel a pulling sensation behind the knee, put something underneath the knee. And then guide your breath towards the ribs, towards the side body. Identifying any tension that you might feel. And can you approach this tension with loving kindness? Acknowledging that it's there. Inviting it to slowly open up. Keep your attention focused. Relax the legs. Allow gravity to do its work. No need to hold yourself up, no need to push or pull. Trusting that your body knows what it's doing. Three more deep breaths. Filling up your lungs completely on the inhalation. Emptying your lungs completely on the exhalation. And after the third exhalation, use your arms to push yourself back up. Don't use your muscle of the torso. Take away any props that you might have used, and then again, come lying on the back for the rebound. Legs wide, arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Once again, observing the effect of the pose. And feel this playful energy inside of you, wanting to expand, explore, do, dream. Whenever you're ready, roll onto the belly and come to tabletop position. If you need a bit more time, take it. You can pause the video and come back whenever you feel ready. So we're gonna go to swan now. In other types of yoga, this would be called pigeon. We're gonna start on the right side, so you want to bring your right knee on the outside of the right wrist and then slide the left leg back. And don't push yourself into it, just slide wherever your body wants to take you. And here we're in the starting pose. So the focus of this pose is again the outside of the right thigh and the buttock. No sharp stinging sensation in the knee. From here we can start playing, so you can bring your knee more towards the outside. You can bring your knee more in. The most important part is that, I will show on the other side, that the foot is like this, so not that it's underneath the leg. So the foot really slides a bit out. And then if you feel you have more space, being very mindful of the knee, you can slide your foot a little bit more to the front, but only do this when you're sure that you have the space in your knee. Because again, we're doing an external rotation of the hip here, and when you're at the end of your range of motion and you try to force yourself deeper, you will only force your knee to compensate, and that might cause injury. So be mindful, respect the limits of your body. And here you can also feel it on the front side of the right hip and the hip flexors. We're gonna add a side stretch to this one. So the starting pose is this one, and today we're gonna go to a side stretch. So you want to have your bolster or a pillow close by, and then move your arms towards the right, and then recline on top of the bolster. You can also try this on the other side and see what difference it makes. And then choose a variation that you like best today. If you really don't feel like adding a side stretch, that's fine too. You can stay up, or you can come down onto the elbows or on the bolster, or lie on the belly if that is accessible for you. Our main focus is relaxation, so don't push yourself. Make sure that you're in a space where you can relax, where you feel safe, where you can sink in. And often we get more benefit out of the pose when we don't go to our complete maximum. And breathe deeply. And inhale, and on the next exhalation, let go a little bit more, allowing your hips to sink a little bit more towards the floor. You can always put a blanket underneath the right kneecap if the touch on the floor is too sensitive for you. Taking 3 more deep breaths, replenishing on the inhalation, releasing on the exhalation. And feel how upon every exhalation you allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper, welcoming whatever sensation that brings along. And after the third exhalation to come out of the pose, there's 2 ways to come out. So either you slide back to tabletop position, or you can also roll towards the, we're doing it the other way around, so you can also roll on towards the left side and then slide your leg back. And then we'll meet each other on the belly. You can make a pillow of your arm, of your hands, and then rest upon it, or rest your cheek on the floor for the rebound. And if you want, you can shake your hips a little bit from side to side to release any remaining tension. And then come to stillness to observe the effect of the pose. And whenever you feel ready, come back to tabletop position. Now we're going to go to the other side. So now it's the left knee that slides towards the outside of the left wrist, and then the right leg slides back. Again, this side might be very different than the other side because of anatomical differences, because of the way we hold attention. So don't assume you need the same thing on this side. So again, our starting pose. From here, we can start playing. So we can bring the knee a little bit more out. We can bring the knee a little bit more in. Staying mindful of sensations in the knee. No sharp stinging sensations. You can always put a block or a bolster underneath the left buttock to support it. And then let's add the side stretch. So walking the hands towards the left, adding a stretch on the right side body, and then walking the hands towards the right and to add a stretch on the left side body. Again, you can use a bolster to lie on top of it. You can stay upright, whatever you prefer. You can also stay in the middle. And our focus is mostly on the left leg and on the stretch on the outer left thigh and buttock. If you're on the forearms, leaning on the elbows, make sure that you can relax the shoulders. If you can't, then play around with the position of the hands. Also, you can bring the elbows a little bit more out, closer to the body, further away from the body. Keeping your attention at the shoulders and see when they relax a little bit more. Breathing deeply. Allow gravity to do its work. No need to hold yourself up. Sink in, surrender. Let the earth carry you. Deep, nourishing breaths. Few more deep in and exhalations to the top of your lungs, emptying completely on the exhalation, navel going towards the spine. And after the next exhalation, to come out of the pose, either slide back into tabletop position, roll towards the right side and slide the leg back, resting down onto the belly for the rebound. Taking time to observe. Taking time to replenish. And slowly roll onto your back for Shavasana, or final relaxation. And if you like, you can slide a bolster underneath the knees so that the knees are supported. And this helps the hips relax a little more. And you can keep your hands on the belly or bring the hands alongside the body. The legs are apart, the feet are wide. Then relax. Your body feels heavy. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the floor. Your body becomes heavier and heavier. Your body is warm, relaxed, and you sink deeper and deeper, absorbed by the earth. And slowly your body dissolves and becomes one. And slowly bring your attention back to your body. If you have more time to stay in Shavasana, do so. If not, move your fingers, move your toes, and make the movements bigger and bigger. And if you want, you can stretch out, yawn, whatever it is that your body needs. Bring some movement into the body, waking it up gently. And then bring the knees into the chest, giving yourself a warm, loving hug, thanking your body for all the work it does for you continuously. And roll onto one side and stay there for a few more breaths, your eyes closed. Whenever you're ready, push yourself back to seated. In a cross-legged position, the eyes closed to keep the attention focused inwards. And once more, observe How are you sitting here right now? Feel the pressure of your sitting bones onto the floor. Feel your breath waving in the body. Feel your energy flowing. And bring the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. Drink lots of water.